Doesn't that look great for 100 years old? Well, at this time, I would like to introduce our current General Manager and Vice President, Mr. Gary Chadwick.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you all for being here and for coming to celebrate a momentous occasion. 100th anniversary of anything is impressive, but to have Carousel here that's been 100 years old is an honor, and we love the heritage, and we're very committed to a family fun atmosphere here at King's Dominion, so we love that we're able to continue to maintain it. The Carousel, or the Grand Carousel, was built 100 years ago in 1917 by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company, because it found its before it found its permanent home here at KD. It operated at Riverside Park in Massachusetts, and then thank you, and then at Roger Williams Park in Rhode Island until 1938. We then purchased it in 1973, and it took 2 full years to restore before opening with the park in 1975. And it is also one of the last wooden carousels left operating in the world, and has a total of 66 hand-carved horses. So why is it important to us? Well, like I said, the heritage and the commitment to family fun is throughout everything that we do, and we want to continue that. We want everybody that has their kids and their grandkids to come back year after year and remember, this is where we did this, or this is where we, rode that. So it continues to be a very important part of what we do. And we have some great guests here, and I'm very, very honored to have them join us. We have, first of all, I will introduce Lou Dean. And Lou was around in the park back in the day as with the local radio station, and he can tell you a little bit about that. So please give us a round of applause for Lou Dean.
Thank you. Good to see all of you. I know we're here today to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Carousel, this merry-go-round. And as you look around the park and you see all these thrill rides, the merry-go-round, the carousel behind me must look a little tame to you. But consider it this way. The carousel represents the theme of King's Dominion, which is family fun. The carousel was here the day that King's Dominion opened in 1975. And at that time, I was an all-night disc jockey on WRVA, and they kept us in the loop, all of us in the media, about they were going to build King's Dominion. We had no idea what it was or what you see here today. Over in a theater not far from here, they had a film going called To Build a Happy Place, and they showed bulldozers and drawings of what they hoped this place would be. And one of the first things they did was you may have seen it as you came in, under the Eiffel Tower. I was broadcasting on weekends from underneath the Eiffel Tower. And you may wonder why a radio station like WRVA at that time was doing. And they had WRVA here because they wanted to show people that this was a family park. Not just for you, not just for your relatives, but for everyone. And just as it is today, King's Dominion wasn't just for rides, it wasn't just for food, it wasn't just for shows. It was a place for the entire family to have a day of fun and enjoyment. Now, you may look at the carousel behind me, 100 years old, as an anachronism, something from another age. But consider it to be a symbol of fun for every member of your family, from the very, very young to those who dare the thrill rides. They're a little beyond me now. To those who want a more relaxing day. King's Dominion is for you. Take a ride on the carousel. If you're old enough, it'll bring back memories. If you're a first-time rider, it's an entirely different, enjoyable experience waiting for you. Go ahead, it's included in your admission.
Thank you so much, Lou. Lou joins me frequently in our local regional tourism, and he's such a great feature of everything around the Richmond and Virginia area, so it's an honor for him to be here. I also want to introduce, and this is a great honor, that Mr. Dennis Spiegel, our original general manager from the park, has honored us with his presence today. I don't want to take up any more of his time, so I'm going to hand it straight over to him. He's got a lot more to tell than I do. Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's give him a round of applause. It takes a lot to run one of these places, I tell you. He's doing a great job, well thought of in the industry. Well, thank you very much, and thank you guys for inviting me down. I'm really happy to come back. Haven't been here in a while. The first time I was here, this was the cornfield, and we walked it with our boots and big sticks to kill off the snakes if we found snakes, and we talked about building a park, and we said, why don't we put a tower up here, put a roller coaster back here, we'll have our Candy Apple Mall and our Hanna-Barbera land, and we were kids at the time. I was 27 years old when I built this park, and the chairman of the board sent a team of us down to do this. Some of the family of Jim Figley are here today, and Jim was one of the real brains behind this park. Eric Hammond over here, his dad was with the park for years too, so good to see you guys and have the family out. But it was a great time. The theme park industry was fledgling. We were just learning about theme parks. There weren't that many at that point in time. There were only about 5 big parks in the United States, so it was a different time. So one of the things that I wanted to do was make sure that we got the best carousel. My boss went out and we found 3 carousels which were old and had deteriorated to a point that nobody really wanted them anymore. And we paid $100,000 a piece for these 3 carousels. And we knew we were going to put one at Kings Island, we were going to put one at this park. It didn't even have a name at that point in time. We didn't have Kings Dominion. And one at one of our other parks that we were talking about building that hadn't been named at that point either. So I climbed up in the trucks. We had them stored in 18-foot wheeler trucks, like 10 trucks. And I went through and I saw these horses that are on this carousel. And they were by far the most ornate and detailed horses that I had ever seen. And Philadelphia Toboggan, which was the great company building carousels at that time, confirmed that. They said it was one of their most detailed carousels. So we brought in, I selected this carousel. My boss said, fine, if that's the one you guys want. So we took it down in our maintenance building back in the Never Never Land part of the park that you never get to see. And we took it out and unpacked it. And the horses looked like they'd been painted with brooms. I was telling Chad earlier, our first count was we had 35 coats of paint that we could visually see on the carousel horses. So it was very thick. So we took it, we stripped them down to the raw wood, basic wood. We hired some ladies to come in from Ashland and Doswell. We gave them dental technician tools, like when you go to the dentist and they clean your teeth. And they went through every carousel, every line, every point of detail on these horses to finish them off. And then we found some pictures of the early carousel and its painting. And our painting team here at Kings Dominion painted the horses to look as identical as they could to the original 1917 Philadelphia Toboggan. So that's what stands here today. Probably, Chad, if you went to sell this carousel, just the horses and the drum, probably be in excess of $5 to $10 million. Probably worth that much right now. I have a horse from a carousel that was appraised at $80,000 that isn't nearly this beautiful. So it's a great history. You've got a wonderful legacy of the carousels. And I should tell you, what happened to the carousels was most of them burned up in fires because there were a tremendous number of fires in amusement parks back in the early, late 1800s and the early 1900s. So this is one of 5 really remaining that have how many horses, Chad? 66? 66 horses. So Caitlin, thank you. Lou, it's great to see you. My old friend Chad, nice to be with you. Thank you for inviting us down. We want to invite the clown band over now and sing happy birthday to the carousel, and we hope you'll join in. And I'm going to not sing, I'm going to turn this back over to Caitlin and Chad. Thank you very much for coming, everybody.
so much to our wonderful clown band, and thank you all so much for being here. A couple of things. We have cupcakes if you'd like to grab one over there. We have some goodies to give away to our first riders today. And one more thing, we have 2 horses here if you can see these. These are models of one of the original horses on the Carousel, and we're going to be giving these out to 2 lucky winners today. All you have to do is take a creative picture, not on the ride. We don't want you to take your phone out on the ride, but take one of the carousel here in the park and tweet it at us or post it to our Instagram using @KingsDominionVA. We will pick 2 winners at 3 o'clock and we will contact you if you won. So thank you all so much for being here and have fun.